Good evening, popular astronomers. Hello, it's Vicky here and Cosmo the Telescope Sloth, who got left behind by tourists and no one's bothered to claim him. So he's currently sat on my microphone and he dangles from my telescope. This is the couple of minutes intro before we go live with the proper show. We're going to be giving people time to find the feed. We are going out live on Facebook, on Twitter and on YouTube. So at pretty much slap bang 8 o'clock, we will start the show in earnest. And the show tonight is going to have a lot of this in it, which I will explain to you in a little bit. So fire up your seatbelts, tie down your telescope, and let's aim for the stars. It's Pop Astro Live Lockdown Special. Good evening, popular astronomers. It is Pop Astro Live Friday night, coming live to you from Anglesey, where we're in complete and utter lockdown. I've not seen anybody else other than me and Cosmo and the housemate for the past week. Who have I seen? Oh, I've had a few video calls. That doesn't really count though, does it? So I hope you are fantastic no matter where you are in the universe. Let me just have a little resize of my windows here. Get the correct one up. There it is. Here we go. We have got some awesome guests for you tonight. Some of my favorites tonight. Okay, first of all though, check out the lipstick transfer on that. You don't want that stuff ever on your collar. Plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug. But tonight we have got so much more than the mug to plug. And it's all really exciting and it involves this. So we're going to have lots of gift ideas for you tonight on Pop Astro Live. Okay, so this is your show. We are the UK's national society, which means we love it when you join in. And just like our wonderful magazine, Popular Astronomy, you can contribute to the show as well. So we have got astronomers on standby. I reckon that the collective IQ of SPA members is second only to Mensa. So if you've got burning astronomical questions that you've always wanted to ask, no matter how basic, there are friendly astronomers on standby waiting to answer your queries. You can also test them about dark energy theories as well if you want. I'm sure they'll be able to answer that. So for every share of this video this evening, the Square Kilometre Array, which I love, one of the world's biggest ever science experiments, and we've got more about that coming later. The Square Kilometre Array will detect a wow signal. Does anybody know what the wow signal is? The wow signal was a very strong narrowband signal received on August the 15th, 1977 by Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope in the US of A. No one says USFA anymore, do they? It was at the time used to support the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The researcher wrote wow on the signal on the graph. And I've actually just been thinking, wouldn't wow signal make a great name for a band? If anyone produces music, by the way, I'm a vocalist and I'm always looking to make cosmic music. So what have you seen in the sky this week? For the first time, honestly, I feel like a bit of a fool, actually. Mars has been there out of the window every night, and it's only just dawned on me to look at it through a telescope the other night. So I have seen Mars through my telescope. So please drop in the comments what you've seen in the sky this week. You're not allowed to say clouds. They don't count, even though the clouds have been pretty stacked up. It was like it was evening time at 2 o'clock yesterday in the afternoon. I reckon we must have had tens of thousands of feet of cloud on top of us, or kilometers, meters. So that's what I've seen. So tonight we have got a glittering galaxy of guests for you. We've got two authors, so it's quite a literary show tonight. Nicholas Booth, co-author of The Search for Life on Mars, and Mark Powers, author of kids' book Space Detectives. We all know how important it is to feed our children with space information so they grow up into popular astronomers as well. Then we fall into the deepest of space with Mathieu Isidro from the Square Kilometre Array Radio Telescope, HQ at Jodrell Bank, by far my favourite place in the universe. And I've been saying that for many years now. So prepare to have your mind, body and soul boggled by SKA statistics. I won't preempt Matt too much, but every year the volume of data stored by the SKA would fill over 1,500,000 gigabyte laptops. Data flowing from the antennas to the on-site signal processor will be transferred 100,000 times faster than the projected global average broadband speed for 2022. And the SKA will be so sensitive that it will detect, or could detect, not that it will, that's a complete lie. It could detect an airport radar on a planet tens of light years away. So that is great news for air traffic control aliens. So we've got a little competition on tonight. It's not just for fun, because there's a big prize at stake. You could win a copy of Nicholas's new book about Mars. Basically, to win it, you've just got to type a 4-word story about Mars in the comments. And at the end of the show, we'll pick the best one. So I've written 2. Perhaps I could have done better here, actually. But we want your Mars stories in just 4 words. So my 2 attempts, and of course I won't win the book because A, I'm an employee of the SPA, and B, they're not very good. Curiosity stolen by joyriders. It's good, that. It gets you thinking, doesn't it? Or just once home to fish, because Mars allegedly had shallow oceans on it, and who knows what once lurked in there and where their evolution got cut off. So they're my attempts. So please drop into the comments. Time for a bit of creativity. We've got 17 comments. 4 moons around Saturn and 4 wheels on my wagon. Yeah, there you go. And the next track tonight is the Drake Equation Blues by the Wow Signal. I am so the lead singer of the Wow Signal. Why am I using a torch or a microphone when I've got a real microphone? I don't know. It's a force of habit. The M2 cluster. Oh, these are things that you've seen. I wondered. I thought these were your 4-word Mars stories. The moon and Mars. Yeah, the moon's looking good. Is it a blue moon on Halloween tomorrow night? Spooky or what? It's a bit early for dark energy. Dark energy day is tomorrow. Didn't know that. Must have missed it. Just like I did with dark energy. Search for Dark Energy Day 2020. Hey, Dazor. Don't forget where Abingdon Magazine came from. I don't know that reference. I'm sorry. Good evening, everybody. Oh, yeah, I see. Hi, I'm going through the comments backwards. That's why. Whoop. Funky Friday. Pop Astro Live. And I am wearing the funkiest of clothes today. You can't see what I'm wearing down there, but it's pretty funky. But this is the funkiest thing of all. There we go. Okay, right. We have got guests queuing up to come on. So we are now going to go over to Nicholas Booth. Hopefully his cat isn't asleep on his chair as it was earlier. Are you ready to come on, Nick? In 3, 2, 1. Here he is.
There I am.
Nick, good to see you.
Hello. There's no cats now. I don't know where they are. They're not in here, but they may join us because that's what they do. And I'm going to take my glasses off. So.
Very good. How are you getting on this evening then?
Good. Thank you. I just watched the news, and then I thought I'd come up here and do my turn, and then that's it, really.
Okay, great.
If they do a funny turn, I mean, not like and go so practice.
A funny turn. Yeah. Oh, I nearly made it.
If anybody wants me to, I will, but I don't intend to do it tonight, if that's all right.
Excellent. Well, now Cath has asked for me to say hello to you because she thinks the world and the Mars of you.
Thank you. I think the same with Cath because she's not had a great year this year, like a lot of people. So I think we all say hi to her and wish her, all the best for the year and what's happening.
Shout out to Nick from Cath. So there you go. I think she's reading your book and loving it.
Thank you.
There you go.
Do you want me to use this as a shameless opportunity to show you the cover of the book?
That, before you show, before you show, we've had some lovely book covers lately. We've had Tim Gregory's Meteors book, which is beautiful blue with silver on it, and also Ezzy Pearson's book, Robots in Space, is blue and silver. So that's the current trend at the minute. What is yours like?
This will come as absolutely no surprise because it's about Mars. It is
It's red and dusty.
pink. Yeah, it's red and dusty.
Hey,
There we go.
that's nice.
Right, I'll put it away now. If anybody asks me any tough questions, you'll see me doing this and looking and trying. Because we finished the book just about a year ago. So, you know, being an older gentleman, on a good day, I can remember where I live. So if I'm a bit slow, please, you know, be understanding.
Are you ready for a couple of the 4-word stories that are flooding in? You've got a tough job tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to have to choose one.
Am I choosing?
Yeah, Steve Fractal, the man with a million faces and counting. Mars, our future hope.
That's good. I like that. Like that one.
Mars story. No surf. This sucks.
Yeah. Instead in a West Coast accent, that works. Yeah.
No surf. This sucks.
It sucks. Hey, man. Yeah, exactly.
Excellent, excellent. Nick's book is brilliant. David Whitehouse says so. That's a good plug there, isn't it?
Yeah. As soon as this is over, I'll release his family because obviously I've kidnapped them to make him say that. But there we go.
Okay, so let's zip across to the questions then. Well, first of all, to all those wonderful people who don't know who the flip you are, let's have a bit of a bio about you, please, Nick.
Oh, okay. Have I got to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, some of you may remember me as a sort of younger, darker-haired person because my first job was on Astronomy Now, working with Patrick Moore, which is a whole series of talks in itself. And then I worked for newspapers, so this was about 30 years ago, and I kept all my notebooks because in those days I was talking to scientists who are, you know, involved in Mars research. So the very first book I ever worked on was in 1988, and here I am 32 years later, a broken man working on another, you know, having worked on another one. But in this case, because I stopped reporting 20 years ago, so I just sort of disappeared from as a byline in newspapers and just did other things. I collaborated with Elizabeth Howell, who's Canadian, who's a very, very clever writer and a very, very good reporter who has been reporting since 2004. So between us, we've written, you know, we've been covering space and particularly Mars missions for 32 years. So all that's in the book.
Yeah, give us a little bit of background about your co-author as well, please.
Yeah, she's. I mean, I saw some stuff she'd done, and she'd been to Baikonur, the Soviet. Wow. Sorry, not the Soviet, the former Soviet launch site, and I'd been there when it was no longer the Soviet Union, but nobody seemed to have told them because the statue of Lenin was still there. So it's a very, very strange place. If anybody's watching this, and you ever get the chance to go to Baikonur, you should. It's absolutely. It's a surreal experience. I mean, when I was there in '94 for a launch, the cosmonauts suited up in a room, and next door was a babushka, and she had an abacus. I mean, if you can believe that, she was sort of totting up her money on it with an abacus, which always struck me as being, you know, emblematic even of the Russian space program. But here we are, you know, 25 years later, and Americans have been launched into space. Tim Peake was launched into space on the same kind of rocket. So, yeah, it's you know, good memories.
We're getting some cracking forward stories coming in. David says red, but not dead. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Mars, story and forwards, they all die horribly.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Oh, this is a good one. Mars story, Beagle 2, heading home. I like it.
Yeah.
Ian says, keep digging. It's there. Oh, yeah. I like that one. That's got a good cliffhanger, that has. It's got a good twist in it, that story has.
Yeah.
So great work. Keep your forward stories coming in. You're going to have 4,000 of these to choose from, Nick. So apologies about that.
Right.
So now then, your history with the Society for Popular Astronomy goes way back, a long way. Tell us about your writing background with the SPA.
Well, what happened was, when I was 17, I managed to wangle, and there's a technical term, a job at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Nobody told me not to do it. Now, you know, if you're 17, somebody said, don't be so stupid, don't do that. But I did it. And by a series of strange coincidences and things, unlikely things, I was given this job. Now, in those days, there was no social media, and somehow via the tom-toms of astronomers, and I don't know quite how, but somebody, which was then the Junior Astronomical Society, found out, and they said, would you write a piece for us? And it was basically, when you're back at school in September, you've done on your holidays. It was like that. So it was the very first piece I did ever, and it's for what was then had been originally called Hermes, but is now Popular Astronomy still. So my very first piece was because of the SBA. So thank you, SBA.
Yeah, what a
So
great.
here I am, 38 years later, writing another piece. So I can now call myself a regular contributor.
Oh yeah.
And if it's another 38 years, that'll be 2058, when probably people will have landed, and I'll be a sprightly 94-year-old. So, watch that. I've got it in my diary. I've written it down.
Good,
So
good.
on New Year's Eve 2057, it'll say, do that piece for the SBA, please. So there we are.
So let's hear a little bit about this amazing new book that you've written, and when is it out, and how can we get a hold of it?
Well, it's now finally out here because it's with an American publisher. And it came out in the summer because we knew there were going to be the launches. So just this week, Perseverance is halfway to Mars. The Chinese Hope, they've said they're going to land in a landing site in Utopia Planitia. And there's the UEA, their mission as well, the Hope mission. And so Mars has been so we knew Mars was going to be in the news. So we wanted to get it to have something that would be bang up to date. So that was what we did. So Elizabeth and I spent most of last year. She went to JPL. I did. So that was a sore point for about 6 weeks, but no. And we've got some great interviews. And I kept all my notes. So when I was being my space cadet in the past and spoke to people involved with the first missions, the Vikings, many of whom have since unfortunately died. So there's interviews with people from that time. And so, I'd like to think it was a pretty good record of 55 years of Mars exploration. So it really looks at, it's not the standard astronomy lecture. It uses people to tell the story. So we kind of profile people who've been involved, including Donna Shirley, who was the first project manager for the first rover on Mars, Pathfinder, which was tiny. And I was reporting, I was on the Times at the time. So I used to go out to California quite a lot and just would speak to these people. And the interviews with Donna were stuck in my mind because I'd been going out to California for many years, and I get in the car and she was giving me a lift back, and she said, can you tell me where? I said, yeah, I'll navigate. So I'm yakking and she's yakking and we're recording, and about 2 hours later we got somewhere, it was like 2 miles away because I managed to get lost. So the person who took a sort of rover to Mars, the very first one, she got lost in Pasadena thanks to me. So, but that's not in the. I just thought because I thought that was quite funny, and I got the tape and recorded her, and it was like, I think it's over here anyway. Yeah. So, but that was it. So I had spoke with lots and lots of people at the time, and Elizabeth has been reporting. And so we're up to date, and I see Mr. Sutherland has just said, didn't your first article appear in Popular Astronomy when you were editing? That was it. I carried it with me for many, many years.
Did you? Laminated or folded up in your wallet?
No, I think he means psychological damage. But
Oh, right.
No. I had that. That was the first piece. And, I'm still very proud of it because it was, I wrote it in longhand as well. So
wow. So I think this is where the magazine and SPA content contribution can completely change your life because it's voluntary, but so many amazing careers have sparked with voluntary contributions, says Vicky.
And I'd also like to say, and I'm not being, I'm not, so being sycophantic, but it's a great magazine because
no, we love it. We love it.
And it's great. It's bang up to date. It's got the latest Venus story. And it's a nice little magazine, so I'm really pleased. I say, and the next time I won't leave it 38 years, but it's a great mag, and you should be proud of it, all of you.
Excellent. Yes, well done, especially to Robin, who's the current editor. So thank you so much. This is what you get. It comes out 6 times a year. You get loads of other stuff when you join the SPA for just £23 per year. And you become a member of one of the largest and longest running astronomy societies in the UK. And the magazine smells nice this month. Smells good. So great stuff. Okay.
Nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with you at all. So you,
No.
what tips would you have for aspiring writers then? Because I've tried to write multiple books and no, not my style at all. No.
The hardest thing with writing is getting to the end. And it's exactly as you said, because a lot of people think, oh, I can write, a news piece, or I can do that. Writing a book is like driving through fog at night, and you're going very, very slowly, and eventually you hope that you're going to get to the end and not crash into a tree. It just doesn't matter how good it is, how bad it is. It doesn't matter what style it is. Get it down on the paper. Get it down on the page. Leave it, go and do something else, come back to it, chip away at it, and that's the only advice I can do. And do it because you want to do it. And that was how I did it, because I was interested in writing, and that was it. So, and it's been a glorious career ever since. But there we are. But it started with SPA. So if I can do it, I mean, not anybody else can do it. So just write, learn how to write, get good at it, practice, and just keep going. And don't be put off.
I can't remember his name now. I'm sure the chap who's coming on after you will remember his name. Buzz, the guy who wrote The Bradshaws, which was like a little family radio sitcom. What's his surname? Can't remember. And I remember him saying to me once, there is no problem in writing that cannot be solved by the application of backside to chair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, sit down and do it.
Yeah, just do it. And get... And don't be scared. Some people are scared of it, and some people give up because they think I'm just producing. But that it doesn't matter. Your first draft is never very good. Trust me, I'm on something like my 20th book, and every first draft you look at it, you just leave it for a few days and come back to it, and just it's like being a writer. Being a writer is like being an athlete. You've just got to keep running or swimming or cycling or playing rugby. You've just got to keep doing it, and you get quite good at it.
Kudos to you.
One of these days I will, so, but there we are.
Just give one last plug for the book, please.
Okay, here we go. And we will, there it is, The Search for Life on Mars, with my fingers in the way.
Very good.
There we go. Now I am waiting, because it took something like 3 months for the book to arrive, the physically to arrive. I'm waiting for the bits of paper that Elizabeth has signed, so you'll get both our signatures.
Oh, that's nice.
And that may well be, as soon as I get it, I will send it on to whoever wins tonight. And I think what we'll probably do is, after we've done this, is look at it later and then figure out between us which we think's the best. As soon as I get those, I'll stick it in this actual copy of this book, and then pop it in the mail for you. Again, anything for the SPA.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And just before we go, life on Mars or not?
Yes, but it's not going to be easy to find. And as we say somewhere in the book, there will be life on Mars one day, and it'll be us, because that's the great thing that's going to happen. If anybody's watching this who's a teenage space cadet like I was, and probably you were, you have the opportunity to be involved, because in 10 years' time, the first samples will be returned. And secondly, astronauts will be going. And I've just seen about the labeled release experiments. That's in the book. No point me telling, because I'm not the scientist, but Gil Levin, who did the labeled release experiment, that's in the book, and chapter and verse, because it's the most controversial, because he still thinks he found life 40 years ago. And not many other people do. It's a roller coaster. The people have said they've discovered it and whatever, and we've tried to cover everything. And the other thing I'm going to say quickly is it's a great time. Mars research is where it was when I was a kid before Viking landed, because it's pendulum, and the pendulum is running towards the possibility of life. I don't think it'll be found quickly. I don't think somebody will land and drill a hole and then there it is. There'll be evidence for other bits of the chain, but eventually it will be found sometime this century, I think.
Woohoo! Okay,
so
let's
I'll be back in 2058. So
we'll be back. I'll see you back here in 2058.
Yeah.
Nick, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. See you soon, and good luck with the book.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye. There you go. That book is going to make a great Christmas present for a Mars or astronomy lover. Okay, so this thing, look, Now, if you caught my earlier video, I got a prize bundle today. Well, a gift bundle from the SPA. Thank you very much, Cath. And it was wrapped beautifully. I had to practically perform surgery on it to get into it. All of the things that I'm about to show you are now available in the SPA shop. We'll come on to the necklace in a little bit. But so it's popastro.com/shop. Cath is going to be producing the links. Look at all this stuff that we have got. Now, I know I plugged the mug, but oh God, am I going to do it? Honestly, Paul Sutherland suggested that I yodel about the model. And as it happens, I was learning to yodel over lockdown. You got to make a little flap in your voice go up. So yodel about the model. Yodel about the model. Nearly, I did it. We have got these. I know it's a terrible rhyme. I don't write this stuff. Paul sent it to me and asked me to do it. So we have got these brilliant things. Metal Earths, they're called. We've got a space shuttle Discovery. And it turns into a beautiful little metal object there. Whoops. And then we've got metal Apollo Lunar. Now, this looks really hard. And I can't even make a paper aeroplane. So one night, I think I'm going to live stream me making these. And it should be loads of fun because they're really, really beautiful. Authentic museum quality cut laser replicas. Wow. They are so lovely for somebody who loves models and shiny things. Now, these are great. They are 3D, but I just don't know whether 3D comes out in 2D. You might be able to get the effect. Or does it just look like a drinks coaster? Oh, no, it's doing it. Look. Whoop, whop, 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 whop. The residents of the Whirlpool Galaxy don't know what's happening to them right now. Someone's shaking them up. We've got these beautiful 3D cards. Is that in hydrogen alpha? The Eye of God. Matches my outfit. Oh, pin it on there. So I'm going to tile my bathroom with these. And they make a little wobble board noise as well. Crab Nebula, beautiful, beautiful. Right, our next guest is sat in the waiting room. He's coming on in a moment. Let's see what the comments are. Here you go. If you want to buy anything that Vicky's modelling, I've never been a model before, ever. If I ever modelled anything, I don't think so. If you want to buy anything that Vicky's modelling, go to popastro.com and click on the link for the shop. I think you can put the shop link in the comments, somebody. Did you like my yodeling, Paul? Been practicing it just for you. I'm hoarse from the yodeling. Now, this is beautiful, this one. Look at this. Right, I'm overheating. Excuse me. I've just reached critical temperature in all the nylon I'm wearing. I am so bright and breezy tonight. Right, okay. This thing, look at that beast. It's the Wakey Milk, the Milky Way, La Voie Lactée, La Via Lactea, the lactating way. Isn't that so good? Imagine that on your wall. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's so good. So where are we? Where are we? Where are we? We're in there somewhere. We're in that lovely, lovely milky cup of coffee somewhere. Oh, look at this. And also, right, okay. Right, we're going across to Mark Powers now, our children's author who's just released his latest book, Space Detectives. You're coming in, Mark, in 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hey. Hiya, Mark.
Hi. Great to see you.
Gosh, I mean, I've probably not seen you in the flesh for maybe 10, 15 years.
It's been a while, yes.
We used to be in a writing group together, didn't we?
That's right. We used to try and get programs made for radio and television.
Did you ever get any of them commissioned?
No. Not those ones, anyway.
No. So you, so me and Mark kind of know each other. Sorry, I'm trying to switch off a heated torch, which has just been between, like, on my lap for the past half an hour, and I forgot about it. So I'm trying to just switch it off because it's burning me now. It's hot. There we go. Right, Mark. So whereabouts are you this evening?
So I'm in beautiful downtown Old Trafford, Manchester.
Ooh, that's probably never been called beautiful before, but I'm sure it's got its okay spots.
It has a couple.
So tell us a little bit about your writing career then.
Well, I've been doing it pretty much since I was a very small kid. Obviously, stories in school was how I started writing. I think that's how lots of people start writing. When I was in sixth form in school, I started writing stuff for radio, started to get jokes and sketches on radio, shows like Weekending and news headlines on Radio 2. I used to do sketches for. That led to a bit of TV. I did jokes with people like Smith and Jones and Charlie Brooker. It's some radio, some TV, some like Clays. I co-wrote a sitcom. But what I always wanted to do was write books. And so a few years ago, I thought, right, there's nothing more but to sit down and get on with it.
So tell us let's have your book. You surely have a copy there.
If it was out yet, I would be having one right here, right now. But it's not out until February, in fact.
Oh gosh. Have you got any of your other books? Because they've got lovely bright covers, haven't they?
Well, I came prepared with a previous one. This is the previous series I've done for Bloomsbury, which is called Spy Toys,
right?
Which is about 3 sentient reject toys who form a secret agent team. But my new book, Space Detectives, is the start of a new trilogy I'm doing. And it's about 2 boys who live on a space station that's going around the Earth called Starville. It's a huge kind of London-sized space station. And in this first adventure, some person has tampered with Starville's guidance system and sent it on a collision course with the moon. And it's up to these 2 boys, Connor and Ethan, to turn sleuth to find out who's behind it and to try and stop it.
Wow. Okay. So first of all, have you actually copyrighted the name Starville and bagged yourself starville.com? Because I want that.
No, I probably should.
Go.
Yeah, I should do that.
It sounds like a cool place to live. So what kind of stuff happens on the space station then?
Well, it's kind of it's an enormous place. So there's it's like kind of London or Los Angeles orbiting around the Earth. So there's millions of inhabitants, there's humans and there's aliens there as well. So I've populated it with people and creatures from all over the solar system. So in the book there are creatures from Neptune and Pluto and obviously Venus, as we know, because that's the source of most life in the solar system, as we know these days.
What are the people like? Well, not the people, the beings like from Neptune. I'm trying to imagine what they'd be like. Big gas bags.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm just trying to remember now. There's loads and loads and loads of different ones, and I'm really lucky in the chap we've got to do the illustrations for the book is a guy called Dapo Adiola, recent Waterstones Award winner, and his illustrations, his characters, the sketches he's done of the aliens and the humans are just amazing. So I'm really lucky to have him on board. It just looks brilliant.
It's an illustrated book then. It's not just like a paperback.
So it's a paperback, but there's lots and lots of illustrations in it. The series is aimed at kids from about 7 to 12, I would say. So there's plenty of story, but lots and lots of pictures to keep their interest too.
So have you always been interested in space then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sky at Night, Cosmos with Carl Sagan was a big influence on me when I was a kid. That series left a really big impact, and the tie-in book did too. I used to pore over that. I never actually had my own copy, but my friend had one, and I would always, whenever I went round to his house, I'd always root it out and just pore over the pages. Because Sagan is just as you know, I don't need to tell you, but just a hugely inspiring guy.
So why do you think, I mean, did I read space books when I was a kid? I don't know whether I did really. Well, why is it so great to get kids into space books at such a young age, do you think?
Well, I mean, it's a perfect subject for kids, really, because it's people are used to seeing like stars and planets on TV, but this stuff is real. It's there right above you, and you just need to have a look. You don't even need telescopes, I mean, you can see the planet Mars and the planet Venus and the planet Jupiter with the naked eye. These things are just there waiting to be discovered.
So Mark, just give your book one last plug and let us know when it will be out, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of SPA members who'd love to buy this for their kids.
Okay, so it's out 4th of Feb next year. It's called Space Detectives. It's published by Bloomsbury. My name's Mark Powers. It's the first of 3. So yes, and I really hope that people are going to buy it.
I'm sure it'll be a great success, Mark. And what was the name of the guy who wrote the Bradshaws? I was talking about him earlier.
Buzz Hawkins.
Buzz Hawkins. It's like a kind of radio sitcom kind of thing. And I met him through that same writing group that we were in. And I remember him saying to me, there is no problem in writing that cannot be solved by the application of backside to chair.
I really remember that quote, actually. I remember you telling me it, and it's stayed with me. It comes back to me now and again whenever I'm having problems. It's a really great quote.
I'm an exceedingly fidgety person, so sitting still for anything longer than 30 seconds is agony to me. I can scarcely pay attention long enough to get to the end of a tweet. So congratulations on getting multiple books published, Mark, because that's just like way beyond me. But well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to hear my forward story?
Oh, yes, of course. Please do.
Well, I thought, like all micro stories, it should take the form of a classified ad. So this one is used planet, slightly rusty.
Oh, you're not allowed to win because you're a writer for real. So that's my favorite so far. Used planet, slightly rusty. Oh, that's so clever. That's excellent. Okay, well, you might win a copy of Nick's book. Who knows?
Well, that would be lovely, but no, that's fine.
Mark, it's been such a pleasure to finally catch up with you after many years of not seeing you. And I'll see you soon. And good luck with the book launch. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me, Vicky. It's been brilliant.
Avec plaisir. Okay, bye.
Cheerio.
Right. I know you're all dying to know what this is around my neck. Let's see if I can find the little card that came with it in amongst the stuff. Does anyone know what this is? I'm sure you all do because you're all very, very well educated astronomers. Oh, I've lost a little bit. You know, I'm in a laundrette here. I've got everything sprawled on an ironing board next to me. So, maybe it's here. Hang on. Oh, yeah, found it. It's an analemma, and it actually says how it works somewhere on it. It's got the settings on it. Oh, where's it gone? Doodly-dee. Here it is. It's got the how the analemma actually works in it. So it's got the solstice. Oh, they're the equinox bits there, and then the winter solstice is there. This is really beautiful, and it's available now in the SPA shop. So an analemma is due to the Earth's axial tilt and orbital eccentricity. The position of the sun in the sky changes from day to day. Plotting the sun's position at the same time each year on a photograph or a graph for a year gives a figure of 8 that shows this variation. Now, everybody knows I love my cosmic clothing and cosmic wear. And also, I feel like I'm on QVC now. It's got a very novel type of new clasp that I've never seen before. It's like a tusk that goes in there. So that's good, isn't it? Buy that for the astronomy person in your life and they will love you infinitely because it's a bit more like an infinite loop. I told you it's 8 o'clock. Yes. Right. Okay. So we're going on to our third and final guest of the evening. Now I have plugged the bling. Mathieu, we're coming over to you in 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hey. Hi, long time no see.
I know. How are you, Vicky?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm in lockdown, Anglesey, and I'm quite blue, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is my lifeline. Every Friday night I do this show, Matt, and it's like
I totally get you. I can see. Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Wow, I've like my black sleeves kind of disappear into the background there. So what have you been up to during, you live in Macclesfield, do you? What status?
I do Cheshire East, tier 2. So we don't have, the restrictions aren't too tough, but actually I've been working from home since March. So that's, more than 7 months or so. So yeah, it's getting a bit old now. It's going to be the case for the next few months as well. So
really? Yeah, because working from home at first was like the best thing ever, and now it's like
for about 3 months it was great, and then not so much.
Yeah, and the dream soured, and people get fed up of hearing you on Zoom calls. I've not been able to speak in the kitchen while you're on a Zoom call. So it's tough, but we're making it through. So
exactly.
So I guess. When I saw you at Mac Astro, probably coming up for 2 years ago now. Wow.
Is it?
Oh, wow. Was it a year or 2 years ago?
I think last year must have been. Early last year.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I might need to check my diary.
You might be right. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Time
God,
flies.
doesn't time fly when you're lost in space? And you did a talk about the Square Kilometre Array, and I knew nothing about it except it was a thing. So let's have a brief overview of what this amazing experiment is about, please. And make my eyes pop, Matt. Make my eyes pop.
I'll try. Okay, so hopefully your listeners are familiar with Jodrell Bank, with the big telescope at Jodrell Bank. It's about 76-meter diameter. And what we're doing now is basically a bigger version of that, but it's so big that you can't build it out of a single structure. So actually what you do is you divide that structure, that surface, into lots of smaller ones, and you spread them over a bigger distance. And you connect them with optical fiber, lots and lots of optical fiber, and incredibly fast supercomputers, and you have a giant telescope. That is, in our case, about a diameter of 150 kilometers, right, which you couldn't build out of a single thing. So basically, we're going to put lots and lots of antennas. We can't do it here because there's too much radio noise, there's too much 4G and Wi-Fi and satellites and so on. So we're building them in remote areas in South Africa and Western Australia. And what's really exciting, I mean, people may have heard about the SK before, but what's really exciting is that we're starting construction next year. So that's it, we're getting there. There's lots of prototypes on the ground, and full-blown construction starts next year. And then off we go, and we build this amazing thing that's going to allow us to do incredible science. And it's going to be the biggest radio telescope in the world. So that's exciting.
Whereabouts is it going to be located then?
Right. So in South Africa, it's in the Northern Cape province, which is near Namibia. It's quite a remote area, quite sparsely populated, which is what we're interested in. And in Australia, it'll be in outback Western Australia, again, in a really remote area, very few people there. Comparison that we love to use is to say that the size of the area where we're putting the telescope in Australia is the size of the Netherlands, but with only 100 people living there. So that gives you, that tells you why we're going there.
So when we had, when you came to Mac Astro, hello to everyone from Macclesfield Astronomy, by the way. God, I am missing humans. I'm missing people so much. I'm missing my lectures, Matt. When you came, you just reeled off these insane statistics. So please, just give us more, please.
So I've got a few. So that was one, right? The size of the Netherlands, just 100 people, just to tell you how remote it is. So I've got a few more, but actually you've given them already. So I'll just repeat them again.
Yeah, but please
so that
do
they
again.
really sink in. So I told you we're going to use lots of optical fiber, right? Because each antenna is connected by optical fiber to one another and then to the supercomputers. And in fact, we'll have enough optical fiber to wrap all the way around the Earth twice. So that is a huge amount of optical fiber that we're going to need to buy, to procure. So that's an insane number. And then another one is all of these antennas are going to produce enormous amounts of data, really insane amounts of data. And the only way to understand that really is to say that, so the supercomputer that we're going to need to process that, if we built it last year, and we need 2 of them, it would have been the most powerful supercomputer on the surface of the Earth. And we need 2 of them for the SK. Now, I say last year because supercomputing is moving so fast that actually, as of this year, it's not quite true. The one we would build as of this year would be like the 2nd most powerful in the world. So the supercomputing industry is catching up to us very, very quickly. So that's cool. And then another one that's great is, so you're all watching this through an internet connection. If you're lucky, you've got 50 megabits per second, maybe 100 megabits per second or megabytes. So you've got pretty decent connection to internet. But actually, the speed at which we'll transfer the data from the antennas to the supercomputers will be 100,000 times faster than what you've got. So that is a mind-boggling number, just to tell you about that deluge of data that's going to flow to these computers 24/7 every day of the year.
It's a very sore point internet is for me here. It took me nearly 5 months to find a place.
So in your case, it's probably 200,000 times faster than what you've got.
many times faster. Yeah, it's taken me months. I tell you, it turned my hair grey trying to find internet here, and I've had to find a laundrette on a holiday cottage complex. That's where I am right now. But at least I can plug it into the motherboard, so that is good. So wow. So tell me about the 2 different frequencies of the antenna that they're going to be building.
That's right. So we're really building two networks of telescopes, and they're going to observe the universe at different frequencies. So you're used to, looking at the sky with an optical telescope. That's one range of frequencies, and then we're way over, that's optical astronomy, and then we're way over on the other end, in radio frequencies. And so some of the antennas we're building look like your parabolic dishes, that you've got to get satellite TV on your house, only they're much bigger. They're about 15 meters across, and we'll build 200 of them in South Africa. And then the other ones operating at a completely different frequency, the ones in Australia, we call them Christmas trees, and they look like your old TV aerials, just a little bit bigger, about the size of a person. And we're building 130,000 of them. That's a lot of TV aerials. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of antennas all connected together by optical fiber, doing crazy science.
Oh yes, so they look like. I mean, how tall are they? Maybe 8 foot tall? Are they? I don't know.
So no, yeah, they're about. So the Christmas trees, they'd be about 6, 7 feet tall.
And they're kind of like a zigzag set of
They have
wires.
like this weird sort of TV aerial shape. They really look like metallic Christmas trees. We do have one in the office, and we decorate it around Christmas times with baubles and things. That's what you do.
And when I remember asking you, I said, how are they going to put all those up? And you just kind of shrugged and went, maybe with an army.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's a real challenge because, if you're spending 15 minutes to put a single antenna, well, you multiply that by 130,000, that is a lot of time. So actually, they're putting a lot of thought into how to mass produce them, first of all, and how to make them as simple as possible, so you don't have to screw all sorts of things and use bolts and everything, because you're going to be wasting time. And then indeed, you would need an army of people, over month and month to build all of that. So it's a really interesting challenge of sort of, delivering a mass amount of stuff on the field and deploying it in a record amount of time. So quite cool.
So
logistics.
Radio telescopes are not going to be sat listening to Heart FM or Capital Gold. What kind of stuff are they going to be listening to?
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, I mean, they could be. So interestingly enough, if you had a traditional FM radio station around that area, which you don't, that's why we're going there. But if you did, we would be able to capture the signals probably. So you'd be able to listen to Rock FM or Capital or whichever station, Classic FM.
What a waste of billions and billions of pounds just to.
So we don't want to do that.
Cool.
So we detect radio signals that have traveled from really, really far away in the universe in those frequencies. The lower the frequencies, the sort of further away the signals have come from, generally speaking. So we can do some really interesting science by looking at a really, really broad range of frequencies, all the way from your FM stations, basically covering all the way up to your 3G, your 4G, and your satellite transmission links. That's the whole sort of frequencies that we'll be observing, and we need somewhere really quiet to do that.
And what other kind of stuff? What kind of science are they going to be doing?
Yeah, so lots of stuff. I mean, one of the big things we'll be doing is produce a gigantic 3D map of galaxies in the universe. So we're hoping to map dozens of millions, hundreds of millions of galaxies in the universe, and produce this sort of really cool 3D map of the universe over time, right? And as the light takes time to travel, and so for example, the light from the sun, there's about 8 minutes old. So the further you look, the more you look back in time, and so that allows us to look back to sort of the early stages of the universe, when we look really, really far away at the time when sort of the first galaxies, the first stars formed. And it's a time of the universe we don't understand very well. So we'll be able to really, I like to say we'll flip back the pages of the universe, the book of the universe, and we'll flip back the pages one by one, all the way to maybe not the first chapter, but the second chapter in the history, and we'll have all of that history. So that's really cool. We'll be able to do SETI stuff, of course. I mean, that's quite exciting stuff, looking for intelligent radio signals if they're out there. But just one little bit of science that I wanted to mention that came out just recently, which I think is cool and we don't necessarily think about. Some of our colleagues in India, they used one of those low frequency telescopes that's in Australia, one of the prototypes for the SKA. and to detect for the first time what they call nanoflares on the surface of the sun. And so if you know the corona, that's the outer atmosphere of the sun, is way, way hotter than the other parts of the atmosphere of the sun, and we don't really understand why. We have no mechanism to really explain why. And what they've been able to do for the first time is to detect these sorts of really minuscule, small nanoflares, they call them. You're familiar with the big solar flares, the ones that disturb space weather and satellite communication and so on. But apparently you've got these nanoflares that are occurring all over the surface of the sun all the time. And they're, we think, the mechanisms that allow to heat the corona to these sorts of super temperatures. And now by understanding that, by understanding our own star better, obviously you're able to predict space weather better, and then you're able to protect spacecraft and astronauts and satellites better against interference from the sun. So that's a really cool bit of science that is applicable to our life on Earth and all of our technology. That's really cool.
Wow. Are they call these little nano flares? Are they called campfires?
They could be a little bit, yeah.
I'm sure I've heard them. That could have been from another experiment, but I've heard that they call these kind of microgranules.
It might be, yeah. You might be right, yeah. So they apparently they occur all over the surface of the sun, really, at all times, and we hadn't been able to really detect them up until now because they were so weak. And with one of the prototypes for the SKA, we've been able to detect them. So that's really cool.
Wow. So what's some latest news from the SKA then? Where are we up to?
So I mentioned that we're going to start construction next year. That's really exciting. Now, something that'll be relevant for your listeners in the UK is that the UK, so we've basically got a whole bunch of countries, right, that are collaborating to build this giant radio telescope, because it's really big and it's quite expensive. So we need to pull resources together. And so countries signed an international treaty. They got together, and the governments negotiated an international treaty, which they're signing, which basically creates this new observatory. What happens with a piece of legislation like that is that it needs to go through the national parliaments and to be ratified. And that's just happened in the UK a few weeks ago. It went through Parliament, it went through the House of Lords, it was debated in the House of Lords, and it went through the Privy Council just a week or 10 days ago, was officially endorsed by the Queen and by the Privy Council, and is all ready to be ratified by the UK. So it becomes a piece of legislation in the UK, which is quite cool. So that's happening right now, and that will allow us to start construction next year on time. So that's, that's really
so excited. You know how much I love the SKA and Jodrell Bank. How does radio astronomy benefit people? Because I've got to say, there's probably a lot of people sat at home going, how the hell is this going to change my life?
Yeah, how does that change my life? Absolutely, absolutely. And so, look, there's two facts that are really interesting. One that your listeners are probably familiar with, which is that we like to say that, radio astronomy was a key sort of component in inventing Wi-Fi. And so, that was one of the big discoveries that sort of came out of radio astronomy research was Wi-Fi. So, that is something that really, really benefits us. It benefits me right now, for example. But another bit of really cool stuff from radio astronomy that is very topical is that it's actually helping us fight COVID. And so the way I can explain that is in South Africa, for example, our partners, the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory, they're sort of leading the effort in South Africa to prepare for the SKA. And when COVID struck in South Africa, the country realized they didn't have any national production of ventilators, and they would struggle to buy ventilators on the international markets because all of the countries are bidding against one another. So they turned to somewhere that had all of the knowledge and the technical expertise, which is the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory. And you think, well, what's radio astronomy got to do with breathing ventilators? Well, they had all of the project managers, the system engineers, the mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, all of the skills, they had them in-house. So they oversaw the national effort to produce ventilators. They put out a national call for volunteers, for people to team together. They created a new model of ventilator, and they're currently busy distributing 20,000 of them in hospitals around South Africa and helping people handle COVID better. So that is a brilliant example of how doing something for radio astronomy can benefit us right now in very concrete ways. So That's really cool.
And I've heard that they are actually able to pick up alien transmissions on those ventilators, so they are quite manufacturing.
Don't tell anyone. It's a secret.
Oh my gosh. So that is amazing. So tell us a little bit more about the other kind of cool science that the SKA does then.
Oh gosh, so I mean, there's so many different things that we're going to be tackling, and that's the thing that happens when you build a facility like this. You want to make sure that you can tackle all sorts of areas of science, really, because it's an expensive infrastructure, and so you want to make sure that it benefits lots of areas of astronomy. So one of the cool things is that we are using pulsars to look for gravitational waves. So that's very cool. You know, that happens. Gravitational waves is a very hot topic. So as your gravitational waves travel through the galaxy, if you like, you have your little pulsar, you know, so it's a neutron star that's orbiting really fast and emitting, you know, like a cosmic lighthouse of radio waves. And it's very precise. It's really, really precise. It's orbiting very precisely. And it orbits, you know, and it creates those blips of signals that we can detect with a telescope on Earth, like a radio telescope like the SK. So we're detecting these blips, and they come in at very regular intervals, super precise, more precise than an atomic clock. And then when a gravitational wave travels, that pulsar will be sort of bobbing up, you know, like a cork on the water, and sort of moving a little bit as the gravitational wave travels. And what that does is that it changes the distance between the pulsar and us, and it delays the signal by, you know, a nanosecond or 2 nanoseconds or 5 nanoseconds. And if you have a radio telescope that's sensitive enough, you can detect that. And so with the SK, we'll be mapping pulsars in the galaxy, and we'll be able to watch gravitational waves as they travel through the galaxy. So we'll have a galactic gravitational wave detector. And that's pretty cool when you can say that.
Do you have a microphone to drop, Matt?
Boom.
I'll drop my torch for you. Yeah, throw your headphones off. That was amazing, and I'm sure that SPA, I frequently get SPA and SKA mixed up. I'm sure SPA members will be absolutely thrilled with that, Matt. That is such a good talk, and hopefully we will get to see you soon at a lecture sometime once those things come back on the circuit. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the show. It's great.
Oh, thank you. Bye. Oh, hey, right. Wow. I want a pet SKA. I got lipstick on my teeth. No, I don't think so. That was so exciting, wasn't it? I am SKA fangirl. What can I say? Thank you for your 4. I'm just having a look. Oh, I'm sorry, John Fairweather. Your question came in too late. I don't know the answer to that. Let's have a look at your Mars stories. Hello, Martian. I'm Donald. I guess that's about something I don't know or haven't seen. So could you please just give me some backstory on that one, please, Trevor? Where's the Mars bar, says Daryl. Thank you for these. Great show, Vicky. Oh, thank you so much. Bob. I've been meaning to ask you. I've got a proposition for you. I asked where you got your brilliant star-spangled avatar from, and you made it yourself on Photoshop. Do you fancy doing one for me? I would love that. I've currently got the most grotesque Halloween avatar, but if I could have my face done like that, I'd be a really happy girl. Write my face up in stars for me, Bob. That would be great. Thank you. Right, I've got a couple more little bits to show you before we go. We're going to overrun tonight, but who's counting? So this is from the SKA shop. Where are we going? There we go. This is from the SKA shop. It's an analemma necklace. Absolutely beautiful for the astronomy lover in your life. And I've been sent more bling. I've been told to sing about the bling. Sing about the bling. This, now I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Hypatia or Hypatia sundial. This model is inspired by the character of Hypatia of Alexandria, the first female astronomer who stood out in several fields such as astronomy and mathematics by the end of the 4th century. In order to determine the solar time, point the sundial towards the south, tilt it up until a ray of light is cast through the crystal ball onto the dial plate. Oh, yeah, okay, so it's a little... I mean, really, you're going to look at your watch on your phone, aren't you, rather than use this? But it is a beautiful little astronomical curiosity. Beautiful to hang around your neck. The displayed time will be the solar time. Add to subtract the hours from the solar time to get your standard time shown on your wristwatch. So that is absolutely beautiful. It is available from the SPA shop. And I'm just going to run through all the other merchandise that we have got because it's just wonderful. So I've been sent a big bundle of this to plug, and I just need to stand up and gather it. Excuse me. Because I've scattered it along the length of the ironing board in the laundrette here. Where's it all gone? Right, here we go. These are now available for your delectation to tile your bathroom. It is backwards in this blooming camera. Oh, this is like a puzzle. No, it's the wrong way. Oh, it goes backwards. There you go. Crab Nebula, Eye of God. I don't know what the Eye of God is actually. It's good though, isn't it? Eye of God. This is the best one though. Look at this. Look at this. That is so beautiful. And it is available now. That is going to look so good on your wall. You can just stand there and do that, and it will tell you where you are in the Milky Way. The sun. What happens there? Oh, the 3D effect comes out on the camera. Isn't that weird? And the Whirlpool Galaxy. That is so beautiful. Isn't the Whirlpool the one that's got the little galaxy at the tail end of it, like a second galaxy on it? I'm sure it is. I could be completely wrong there. And then we've got that yodel about the model. Sing about the bling, plug the mug, yodel about the model, says Paul Sutherland. And I don't know, I can't remember what it was to do about these things. And so there we go. We've had a great show this evening. I absolutely detest switching the off button. Oh, I've got to judge the Mars competition. Let's have a quick look. Don't have to go. Hypatia pendant is beautiful. It's one of my favorites in the SPA jewelry range. Vicky, just think of it. Oh, I can't put that. That's political. I'm not putting that. If you did that, Bob, then Vicky would have stars in her eyes. I really would. And stars for my nose and chops as well. She's got stars for her chops. I'm going to have a look at the 4-word Mars stories now. I can't tell you the price of any of these things. Curiosity disappears into canal. I like that because that's pulling on several different Mars references. The red planet lives. What a great 4-word story. Mars, red and dead? Question mark. Oh gosh, these are hard to choose. I'm just having a quick look through them. I quite like canal boats for hire. There you go. There's one. Canal boats for hire. Oh, what a tricky. Where's the Mars bar? It's 4.5 words. I am going to give the winner of Nicholas Booth's book to David. You have won. Red, but not dead. I just like that. It's just simple and it is 4 words. So there we go. You have won a copy of the book, The Search for Life on Mars. So well done. Can you drop me a message or mail? I'm just trying to think of the best email address. I'll get back to you, David. Okay, I'll get back to you. I'll drop you a message on Facebook. Okay. You popular astronomers have been absolutely fantastic. So I'll see you. Oh, I'm doing a pop-up show with Nigel Hembest as and when I can get down here to broadcast to keep me sane throughout the dark days and even darker nights of lockdown. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much to all of my guests, all of my contributors. I detest pressing the off button. Brilliant. Mars helps you work, rest and play show. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you very much. Thank you. I love the 3D card as well. I don't want to go. I really don't want to go, but I'm going to go. Back to the humdrum of lockdown life. Thank you, Steve Fractals, guests and all, the man with a million faces and counting. Oh, see you next week. Ta-da! Drop the mic.